NIO is set to announce earnings on September 5th, and the stock has recovered more than 10% since hitting its 52-week low this month. But with earnings usually showing steep losses and a drop in share price, should we be worried or optimistic heading into earnings? Maybe it's time to buy the dip. After all, there is some huge catalyst coming very soon for NIO, and this could be a massive inflection point for the company. This is a must-watch video for NIO investors where I look at the very latest NIO news and what we can expect from NIO over the next few weeks. If you're a NIO investor, then you need to watch this, but before we get into the video, if you find any value in this, can I ask you to smash the like button? It literally costs nothing, but it helps me out so much. I'm aiming to get 500 likes on this video. Help me hit that goal. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence. And try to answer the question later in this video, but for now, let's get straight into it. So first, I want to take a quick look at this. The China Passenger Car Association expects China's August NEV retail at 980,000 with record 53.2% penetration. Now this is a big deal because everywhere I look I see reports of declining EV sales and people switching back to gasoline vehicles, but the data is saying different. July was the first time that electric vehicles exceeded 50%, meaning that NEVs surpassed traditional gasoline vehicles in monthly passenger car sales for the first time, and now August is even higher. But they have reported that the majority of sales have come from major automakers. So where does NIO fit into this? So let's look at last week's NIO sales. NIO vehicle registrations in China were 3,300 for a second consecutive week. NIO delivered 20,498 vehicles in July, marking its third consecutive month above the 20,000 mark. That's up 0.18% from last year, although it's down 3% from 21,200 in June. But what's important here is that NIO has delivered over 20,000 units for 3 consecutive months. Prior to this, NIO had only broke above 20,000 once ever. Looking at this graph from last year, we can see that at the time NIO had never delivered more than 16,000 units in a month and was guiding for up to 25,000 in a whole quarter. Now they are doing close to this in 1 month, and even these figures are about to become a distant memory as sales figures might be about to go parabolic. That is, if NIO are able to keep up with the demand, and I will talk more about this in a moment. When we look at the charts, we can see that NIO has once again bounced off its 52-week low. And just as I said last week, we have moved up a bit, but in my opinion, we are unlikely to see any huge price movement over the next couple of weeks before earnings. There are some indications of a breakout move after that though. There is now a crossover on the moving average, but there is also a huge wedge formation. The last time I seen the chart set up like this was back in April. Right here on the chart, when NIO moved up over 60%. Of course, the stock has been dropping ever since. But right now we have 2 catalysts. First is the earnings report due on September 5th, and then we have the release of the onvo L60. Now earnings could prove decisive, because management should give an indication of guidance for the year. And for the very first time, we have actual solid data about onvo going into an earnings call. And onvo pre-orders have been very encouraging. Now in case you've been living under a rock or missed my last video, right now the first mass-produced onvo L60 has officially rolled off the production line, and the company has released a bunch of official interior images of the new model. The onvo L60 is set to directly compete with the model Tesla Y and Model 3 while providing premium quality at a budget price. Just look at these photos. The onvo L60 interior truly looks beautiful, and yet this will be competing at a lower price than its rivals, potentially starting as low as $23,000 without the battery pack under the battery as a service subscription. The onvo L60 is set to be a game changer for NIO, with deliveries are expecting to begin in late September. The L60 vehicle apparently hit 60,000 in cancelable pre-orders, providing a good indication of strong demand. This is going to be a major catalyst. Ultimately, the goal will be for the mass market brand to produce far higher sales than just 30,000 per month, which is the target of the premium brand. But the biggest issue for NIO is the path to profit. But NIO has a plan for this. NIO has struggled over the past few years to produce consistently growing gross margins, due in part to the volatile quarterly delivery numbers while building new brands, Onvo and Firefly. The management team have set the following vehicle delivery targets for turning profitable. For NIO, 30,000 monthly deliveries at 20% gross margin, and for Onvo, 20 to 30,000 monthly deliveries at 15% gross margin. As an example, the Onvo L60 vehicle has a $30,000 pre-order price for a 4.5k gross profit. At 30,000 vehicles per month, NIO would generate approximately $405 million of gross profit from the Onvo brand alone per quarter. So this begs the question, is NIO a buy or a sell at this price? Drop a comment below, I want to know what you think. Now I know a lot of you have been holding NIO since 2021 and have average costs of maybe up near $30 and have long since given up on averaging down. But if you were new to NIO stock today, with money in hand, would you buy NIO at this price? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. In my opinion, this is NIO's Toyota moment, a true inflection point for the company. Just think of Toyota and Lexus. Which one of these do you think sells more? Lexus is the luxury division of Japanese automaker Toyota, one of the world's biggest car companies. But Toyota outsells Lexus by more than 10 to 1 because in reality there is more demand for the lower cost vehicle. So think of NIO. NIO is the luxury brand, Onvo is the more affordable brand. We could easily see sales of Onvo far outweigh sales of NIO, but this is just my thinking. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But there is far more to NIO than just electric vehicles. NIO has also made big moves in the EV charging space in China, and a lot of people seem to forget this because they are focused too much on its delivery numbers and the company's financial performance. NIO is putting the infrastructure in place to be a dominant player in the entire industry. NIO put on its big Power Up 2024 event this week in Wuhan, China. At the event, the company announced two new plans, its Power Up Counties and its Power Up Partner Plan. With regard to its Power Up Counties, NIO is set to expand its charging network. By June 30th, 2025, NIO Power Swap stations will be built in over 1,200 counties of 14 provincial-level administrative divisions. By December 2025, the PSS network will be available in counties of more than 13 provincial-level administrative divisions. So in other words, the plan is to put a ton of chargers and battery swap stations across China. In fact, that's more than 2,300 of them. With regard to its Power Up partner, NIO is looking to partner with more companies in both the building and profit sharing of charging and swap stations. And they already have several partners signed up, as we can see here. And finally, NIO also announced a new factory was coming to Wuhan. When built out, the factory will be able to produce 1,000 power stations per year. So these are major developments for the company, and a lot of people are either completely oblivious to this, or they are simply too focused on NIO's EV delivery numbers. Of course, these numbers are also about to change dramatically with the launch of the Onvo L60. Now, since my last video, there has been no new analyst estimates, but we should expect new price targets as soon as the earnings are released. And the most recent price target is set by Bank of America, who gave NIO a $6 price target. Both of these are still far above the current price. As always, there's a lot of talk on social media about NIO, especially at the moment with the stock hovering above its 52-week low. But always do your own due diligence. Remember that I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice. But if you enjoyed this analysis, then please like and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts about whether or not you think that the Onvo L60 will be successful on launch. And I hope you make a load of money on this stock. Follow me on Twitter and I'll catch you in the next